What's up, guys? This is Remy.
This is the third intro, so I'm still Nima.
What's up, guys? This is Remy.
I'm Nima. I don't know why we're recording this over and over again. But we're good.
Hello, guys. This is Remy.
I'm Nima. Are we really going to use all?
Welcome to episode 9 of Steadiocast with Nima and Remy. It's been 9 episodes, dude. How do you feel so far? It's been a month and a half, I think.
I love it. I love it every time. There's a little moment of nervousness before every episode.
Yeah. But at the beginning, kind of a little bit.
But as we're getting through it, and as I keep messing with the stand every single episode, I love it more and more.
So you told me that you really liked last episode.
I did. It was awesome because we had the theme of the movie, which you didn't.
Not the one that came out already, episode 8, which is still not out yet.
Yeah, but people, like you said, people don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
So the Snowpiercer theme, which you and I disagreed on the movie itself, but the whole episode, the discussion about it was nice. We had an overarching theme, which was, humanity and social classes.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
It was cool going there again. 2 episodes in a row.
Yeah, well, it was slightly different.
Yeah. I really wanted to watch a movie for this time, but
we just couldn't figure out.
Yeah, it's just we're both busy. John Wick, though, that's going to happen soon. Because I haven't watched like an action movie in a while. What is that, receipt?
It is, but I just wanted to make an annoying sound
for the
mic.
$14 coffees you got us.
Fuck, dude. I was really thirsty.
I know.
There's nothing nearby.
Yeah.
Oh.
But they also make drinks that are not that sweet.
Just regular coffee, but that means it tastes like shit there.
Yeah. But have you had the cold brew?
Yeah, you got it from me last time.
Yeah. It's like, I didn't know.
It's not bad. Actually.
It's not bad. It's not as acidic, and it was like pretty tasty.
Acidic, really?
Acidic, yeah.
All right.
Coffee's acidic.
Oh, we have one view today.
Yay!
Well, we should, if there's a way to track every single person that listens to us, there are so few of them that we can actually say hi to every single one as it's happening. But
well, shout out to
I know.
what does that say?
Shout out to Denmark.
It was from Denmark?
Yeah, well, no, but I love that there's European
So I
countries.
want to know, can you find out with SoundCloud, like, we know we have a lot of views for Sense 8. Can you find out where they're mainly from? And if
you told me you could, but I
Europe?
can't figure it out.
You have to go into stats and put like...
So go to Sense8 stats, right?
I don't know. I've just go to the main stats.
Actually, Sense8's top country is Denmark, and then Germany, and then it's US.
So yeah, it's
we have
Europe.
one person from Iceland. I would like to think it's that beautiful girl from the show, but it's not.
Riley.
Yeah. Did you know Riley? This is a little cool tidbit. Her hair didn't look like that. They had a discussion about,
making her more pop.
Yeah, making her more DJ-ish.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, have you ever seen Bloodline?
You told me about this show.
It's one of the best Netflix shows. I would
Is it
put it up
that
there.
good?
Yeah,
it sounds like it looks like it's a bunch of rich people having drama.
Okay. You got it.
Is there still? Oh, really? I nailed it.
No, well, it's a pretty well off family. I mean, well off. They look like they're well off because their house is a really nice
hotel. It's a
hotel.
soap opera, dude. Has to be.
It's so good. It's probably the best acting I've ever seen. And
what?
Yeah, and one of the
Are these guys famous or?
Yeah, most of them are actually pretty famous.
A lot of big actors in there.
And probably one of the main actors in the movie went on to become the villain in the new Star Wars movie that's coming out. So I'm pretty excited to see what he's going to do because...
Wait, hold on. What?
Yeah.
There's already some casting. I mean, they know...
No, for Rogue One, I'm saying.
Oh.
So, like, his acting, everybody that watches it, his acting is just so incredible in that show.
All right.
And season 2 just got announced.
I'll watch season 1 or the first episode anyways.
Oh, dude,
hey, so
what?
When I start watching a new show, and I look at the pilot, and at the end of the pilot, I'm either like, all right, this is awesome, or I'm not really interested, and then it goes in between this and that. Now, since it's a pilot, does that mean that episode 2, 3, and all the subsequent one would be different than the pilot? Because the pilots are made...
Not
I'm trying
necessarily.
to understand how the
not
pilots
necessarily. They used to
were...
be like that. They used to be in a way that you made a pilot and you pitched that pilot and it either got bought or didn't buy, and then you had more money to make the show. Some people would completely redo the whole show, meaning reshoot the pilot and everything.
Oh, okay.
But like if you watch like the one that always comes to my mind, there's 2. House. House's episode 1, the pilot, is really different than the rest of the show. It looks different. It's made by Bryan Singer, the famous director who made X-Men and everything. And then West Wing as well. West Wing's episode 1, the pilot itself, which was, I wouldn't call it a pilot because everybody knew that there was going to be a show, but episode 1 is different than the rest of the show because they're not really sure what they're going to do. So the famous thing is...
Why would they make a pilot if they're not really sure what they're going to do?
Well...
Are they testing it out, the chemistry, the acting,
correct.
and all this stuff?
And basically, they have an idea what they want to do a show. But once you're done with the pilot and your focus group testing it,
right.
People might have a completely different reaction to it. So that's the thing about West Wing. It was really famous is there was supposed to be a show about everybody that works for the president. Mm-hmm. The president wasn't supposed to be a big part of the show at all. He was supposed to just drop in, say something cool once per episode and leave. But they shot the pilot, they focus tested it, and he did really well. When he came in at the very end and he did his thing,
so they were like, "Oh, we got to have him back." Like,
exactly. Then the show became about the president and his group.
So when production, when production place houses supply or give broadcasters their pilot for this new show, it's to show them that hey, it's going to be good. This is the acting. This is how it's going to look like. And then the what's the word I'm looking for? The bigger companies,
like the studios and the distributors and stuff.
Yeah, distributors. Like, what kind of say do they have in it?
It depends. And the things have changed so much over the last 10, 15 years. Like one of the key things that I'm actually learning right now, and we might want to dive right into a research for an episode for it, is Netflix and how their business model and what they're trying to do.
I'm so down for that.
Because I'm learning so much. I didn't know that because Netflix for a while was only buying rights from people saying, hey, I want to show your movie and stuff, but it was never their stuff, right?
Right.
So they made some original content and they got in trouble for it because of the people that they were buying rights from, because now they're competing with the exact people that they're doing business with.
Okay.
So they had to stay away from it.
Because they're making that stuff now.
Yeah, they would step back from making original content for 4 years and they only bought rights. So now they're getting back into making their own stuff. They're trying to figure out how to make their own stuff.
So they're becoming a production company.
Yeah, their main goal is to become a huge production company, to become a huge studio, just like Marvel, how they control their own stuff and they control the message and how they do it. It's cheaper, it's better for them. So it's their learning experience that they're going through to do that. Like the fact that they got Adam Sandler's movie rights. As much as nobody cares about Adam Sandler anymore, it's big for Netflix because they're trying to learn how to do this stuff.
Right.
That's so a lot of times, I imagine Bloodline is an example of a show that a production company made. And then Netflix was like, you know what, I'll buy that. And it's my show from now on.
But it didn't make it.
I don't think they made it.
Yeah.
But I think I think it's their show now because after the first season they bought it and second season's coming out. Much like I think House of Cards is made by somebody else and Netflix bought it as it was being made. Like the Netflix
is that what you see in the credits at the beginning or the end, or usually the end?
Sony's involved.
Not the big ones, like the smaller. You can tell they're smaller production companies that take care of stuff. So
there was another company that was producing those.
That's their only spot to have their moment of shine, other than the fact that they made the whole thing awesome.
Yeah, and when it comes to companies like that, a lot of them are made for specific shows. Somebody will make a company that's like House of Cards LLC, and they'll just make House of Cards for one season, and their company will get shut down, and they'll do something else. But for things that are complex where somebody else is making a show and then you're buying the distribution right, or you're just a producer, whatever it is, it's complex for them enough to they're thinking about being the only one involved. That's why Netflix wants to make their own things from scratch. But
again,
DVD
by hiring
sales of
production teams.
Yeah,
because that's what they're doing.
Yeah, but it's off and on. They're hiring another company, but they want to be doing it themselves.
You mean I don't see, but again, that's if they hire by doing it themselves. You mean they want all the creative,
the creative, the legal, all of it. They want it to be in house. They want it to be. They don't have to. They don't want to worry about. Maybe they need to be the. I don't know. Maybe they don't want to worry about who's going to sell the DVDs as opposed to who's going to sell it.
Do you think? I guess what I'm asking is, do you think their sole purpose right now is to create original content?
That's their main goal.
Okay.
As of right now, I would say from the past 18 months going forward, it's been to make goals. And over last week, there's been articles released that they're showing how much Hulu, Amazon, and HBO are getting more movies. Because you and I care about movies and stuff. They care about these movies that have been released over the past 30 years. They're getting rights for those to stream them. While Netflix has kind of more or less given up on that. They've given up on the idea of licensing new things.
That means they're more into showing new things out there.
They are. And this is another thing. We talked about in one of the last episodes that Netflix really cares about numbers and the stats that they're getting, and that's how they make business decisions. They've recently released that that their original content is getting more views than their non-original content.
Right.
So they're like, you know what? We're just going to go heavily into this. We're going to keep making our own things.
So you think, yes, their goal is to make original content, but at the same time, since they're really looking at their numbers and their stats, that also means they just want to make more money, right?
Of course, it's a business.
But at this point, if you're up there in the hierarchy of, this business pyramid, like the top group that runs Netflix, do you think they're sitting there like, oh man, we should make a show about this or about that? Because that's probably going to work really well.
I'm sure they have, every company does, and I'm 100% sure Netflix either has one person or a whole group of people that are in charge of ideas and where the shows are going and everything. Are you okay with your mic?
Yeah, I'm good.
I feel like I pointed at your thing because it looked kind of low for me, but
it's super loud though. Like, I think my voice is
there you
not as
go.
loud.
It's fine now.
Yeah.
There you go. You're fixed. You were kind of low beforehand.
Yeah, I was really low, but I was kind of speaking too far away.
And honestly, like that's one of the things we might want to figure out is if we're sitting far away and it's kind of low, maybe that sounds good.
Maybe that's exactly why I'm not too worried about it.
Yeah.
I want to try different things. Proximity effect is a bitch.
All right. If you say so.
Yeah. Jace.
Here's an idea for a movie that we can watch because you were talking about X-Files and I was thinking about it last night.
I thought you were gonna say a movie that we can make. I'm like, yes.
Yeah, but I'm not sure if I want to talk about that stuff on a podcast. But we should watch and have a discussion about Dreamcatcher. It's a Stephen King novel that was made into a fantastic movie.
Like awards movie. Won awards and stuff like that.
No, I don't think so. It's an entertainment movie. It's not an artsy movie at all.
How long is it? How old is it? Sorry.
More than 6 years old for sure.
Dude, this coffee is brutally sweet. Like it almost hurts my palate.
I'm sorry. I hope you'll be okay. It's from 2003. It's really good. When Stephen King movies get made into really good movies, they're awesome. When Stephen King books.
Yeah.
Another one that you should watch.
He's a great storyteller.
But also, like, God, did he write The Mist? I think he wrote The Mist. The Mist is a famous example of... Damn it, I don't know who wrote the book. Stephen King. So it's a famous example of the book that apparently itself was really good, so they made a movie out of it. But the director and the writer changed the ending of the book for the movie. And it's famous that there's people that disagree on it. And as far as I know, Stephen King said the new ending is better.
Wow.
It's a drastic change. Like it's not just a slight change. It's a huge change.
Like it's like they get to a point where they were able to like completely change the way this ends the story.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And that's another one that I feel like you should watch. And I don't think they're both science fiction movies. They're both like made just for pure entertainment.
I love science fiction.
So you should watch them, but they're both really good. Like really, really good.
Have you ever gone to Game of Thrones? Yeah.
Have I ever
You've watched them?
Yeah, it comes back tomorrow, right?
Monday.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. No, because I have a date with Mariah on Monday night and we're going to do some vegan cake and the first episode of Game of Thrones.
Okay, I don't know if you need to mention vegan cake, but okay. Mariah is Remy's wife.
Yeah, and she is trying to become a vegan 100%. So, I'm helping by indulging in this stuff, which is not bad at all.
I think vegan pancakes are good. I feel like I've had vegan pancakes.
Dude, I've had vegan butter. It's like, I can't believe it's not butter. But
I'm skeptical.
Yeah.
Butter is butter.
Oh, this is delicious. Anyways.
Okay. I'm inviting myself and I will try some of it.
So anyways,
Mariah.
Game of Thrones, like I think I read the title of an article because, that's how I get my info from.
The titles.
The headlines of the articles.
Go ahead. The editors love you.
The writer of Game of Thrones, the book writer.
George R.R. Martin.
Right. He, I think he was, the gist I got from that title was that he was suggesting side stories and, like in Breaking Bad, they did the word that I'm looking for.
Spin-off?
A spin-off. Yeah. He says, oh yeah, there's a few spin-offs that should happen or could happen.
I don't think so.
There's a lot of really interesting characters in Game of Thrones.
There is. But it's big enough already that it doesn't need to become any bigger. Like you don't need to expand on it anymore because it's already exhaustingly massive.
Yeah, but he opened the world to a new world, and within that new world, people want to, it's like fantasy. It's like World of Warcraft when you walk around try to find what is this new forest, Like every little stories add up to it.
And that's the thing,
Star
what?
Wars
You're right.
doing that.
You're right because that's one of the things I keep hearing from the people that have read the books is that the show doesn't touch base on things like that, like what's happening in this forest. Like there's a lot of story there that the show doesn't get to tell because it's focusing on these characters. And so you might be right. So they can do spin-off movies and spin-off short series and things like that.
If they want, it's going to make them money. I'm 100% sure it's going to happen.
All right.
Especially considering Game of Thrones is probably coming to an end.
What do you mean?
Soon.
How soon do you think? We don't know.
Season next, the third. Like I don't think they're going to drag it on for 10 seasons.
I think they'll drag it on for as long as there's books.
But
but they're running ahead of a book right now, so we don't even know.
Maybe they should stop the story after 2 more seasons, like this new one and the next one. Like close the story and then have spin-offs of cool
Like
characters not like Breaking Bad, more like I guess so. Like going back in time and showing the story of another big character and.
Yeah, but one thing I don't like about going back in time is when you go back in time to tell a story about a character that you already know what's happening to, I'm less invested as a viewer.
No, but you show more things about this character that was never explained or told in the original story.
Like that part's cool, but like part of what happens with drama, especially in shows like that, is like specifically Game of Thrones, you're worried if your character is going to make it out alive or not. But if I already know this character is going to be alive, like 10 years from now, I'm less invested in the drama and the suspense of when they go into battle. That's
why if they do spin-offs let's say Game of Thrones has 2 more seasons and then it's the end.
Yeah.
All right. Closed. It's the end. Whatever happens. Then you look at all the characters that are still alive by the end of the show, and you go back in time and tell some stories that maybe can influence after you watch the original story end. And like there's a new king, and next to him is this character that's called character 1, and it's been epic last few episodes, and awesome. Oh yes, he's king. This person is king, and then everybody's happy ending, right? And then you go back into that character 1's story, 5, 10, 15 years back, and show such a progression that it makes you think. It makes you rethink of the last episode where you think it's all happy, but
it's not happy.
But you know that person is gonna end up killing the king.
He wants something else.
It could be cool.
Yeah, like Jaime Lannister's story would be cool as a spinoff.
Yeah,
because he did kill the old king and
like the unpredictable characters.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. To completely switch this off,
that's fine.
You know how you were telling me you like Battlefield because you can get into the action of it really quick and all those things? I had
a conversation with someone about Battlefield.
I think you might like Overwatch because I was playing the Overwatch beta 2 weeks ago, I think. Mm-hmm. It's really entertaining.
Hold on, is it like first person shooter, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
Is there a lot of like out of this world weapons?
Yeah. But I don't know what you call out of this world. There's pistols, there's like futuristic pistols, and there's rocket launchers, and there's a bow and arrow.
Okay, cool. Well, it's not like too futuristic.
No, there's no set time. It's the visuals of it look like in a way that you can't tell if it's in the past or future.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like present.
But it's not. The whole point of they made the whole game based around like the action of it. Like there's no story, there's no crazy, like you're not killing somebody with a shotgun or things like that. You're having these little battles. I think it's 6 versus 6. They're objective based. Each hero itself has special abilities. Mm-hmm. And the whole idea is that you pick a hero, you play it, and then maybe the other person on the other team picks another hero. They're like, you know what? I can beat that hero with another one. So I'll switch to that and I'll play. It becomes a really cool, fast-paced,
almost
really
sounds like
fun game.
It sounds like that cartoon game that came out with
Team Fortress.
Yeah,
it's inspired by that. It's just a better version of that. And I honestly was playing it. Not even more real, just more fun. They focus on the fun of it. And I feel like as I was playing it, I was like, this is the kind of shit that Remy would like.
Yeah, I'll give it a shot.
Because you get into it, you get into the action of it immediately. You do your part as a team. Yeah. Everybody recognizes
it. Is it on Xbox?
It's on everything. It's gonna be on everything. I played it on PC.
When is it coming out? When is Battlefield 5 coming out?
It's not even announced yet, man.
They talked about it.
No, they did not.
When Battlefield 5 comes out, I'm getting an X1. X1
Me too.
Xbox
Me too.
One.
Let's get a PlayStation though,
Why?
because I think they're more powerful.
Yeah, but I don't like PlayStation that much.
Okay, then. Wow.
The controllers are not my thing.
I think you can get a controller for it, but that's fine. I'm probably gonna get it. Don't play.
Get
I'm
an
probably,
Xbox
yeah,
One.
I'll probably get an Xbox.
I still have to sell that PS4.
Wow.
I know. I haven't Craigslisted in a while.
Yeah. All right. I'm just gonna turn this thing right around. You wanted to talk about Interstellar.
Interstellar.
Why? I like it. You like it. End of
That's
podcast.
just like, I've always thought that time travel in movies was cheesy always, and it's easy to always find the flaw in the whole logic of it.
Yeah.
Even though it's time to travel in space and logic can go out the window.
Watch Primer. But go ahead.
And then Prince died.
Yeah. I don't. Prince dying made me want to rewatch Kevin Smith's Q&A sessions because he has a story about Prince and it's really hilarious. Because this fat dude's been involved in so many famous people's lives and it's hilarious. But yeah, I mean, he was a genius though. I'm not even gonna put it down. He was far beyond a level that I will ever be able to operate at.
So when he was a kid, like 18, that's when he first started working with like a big production company and a manager.
18?
18.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Back in the day, right?
Go ahead.
The
Sorry.
coffee's so sweet.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I thought 18 was so sweet.
No.
Maybe it.
They're both sweet.
Yeah. All right.
It's really weird. but he was 18. He started working with production.
So it was like one of the first time where a deal was brokered between an artist and a production company that an 18 years old kid had either all or almost all of the creative decision making.
Really?
At 18 years old.
Good for him.
I know. No,
he was.
That's awesome.
As weird. Even he's. I would. I mean, everybody does. I compare him to Michael Jackson. Like you can say they're really weird,
right?
Like incredibly weird. But if anybody even remotely says they weren't geniuses, and
they completely were.
It gets me really mad when people like I could personally not like Prince, but I acknowledge that he pushed our society and musical talents forward. Yeah. Like he'll always be remembered. Always.
Yeah.
How did we get to this? We were talking about Interstellar.
I don't know. Interstellar.
So time travel and stuff. I just rewatched Primer. It's so good when it comes to time travel. But okay, let's talk about Interstellar. You're saying the logic was out.
I really like Terminator 2 as well for the time travel.
We're going to do a whole episode and I'm just going to go crazy over Terminator. Well,
it's just be you talking. Maybe you can be like...
I don't care.
Wait, maybe we can find someone who hates that movie. You guys can go at it.
Because if they have a brain, they will love that movie.
It's just so good.
But so... Interstellar, it kind of ties into what we were talking about last episode with what humanity needs to do as a whole to survive. And I agree, something like Interstellar is going to happen where we're going to realize that it's too late. We need to get out and we need to find options. That what they showed in that movie is one of the possible options.
Right.
So,
like the weather becoming too unpredictable to grow food anywhere, because that's what it is.
Correct.
Right.
They basically had they didn't really touch base on it. There's some sort of a virus, a bacteria, some sort of maybe bugs that are going around that are completely destroying the Earth's biota at that point, right? They're killing off the plants. They're killing off how we survive.
Yeah.
There's a dust
Anything
storms.
organic.
Correct.
Dying.
So that's when apparently, supposedly, the government's like, hey, we need to find a way to at least make sure humanity as a species survives.
That means they saw it coming from, like, they saw, like, signs of it, of, like, oh, this is going to take 200 years, but we'll be dead for sure. We should probably figure out how to get somewhere else.
The movie makes it sound like it came out of nowhere and even, like, the decisions were made even too late, just like they are now.
Yeah, but I'm trying to tie it to, like, how did they already... By that time, did they already have the technology to, like, do what they are trying to do, or they had to make it work?
They had to make it work.
How long did that take? Because in a realistic manner.
So that's the whole point of it is the things that happen in the movie, you know, with the wormhole and the sphere, gorgeous looking thing that they've made. It's about time travel. It's about how they go somewhere. They found this wormhole. They don't really explain because, spoiler for anybody who hasn't seen it, the idea is the people of Earth from the future are supposedly the people that created that wormhole and put it there, right? Or am I crazy for thinking that?
I don't know, but if that's what they were saying with the movie, it makes little sense. Because again, the whole logic that you should really throw out the window. But then how did they get there? If the wormhole was put there by us and then we go there because it's there, when did it happen? How did they put it there in the first place? If they were not
how do
able
we get to that
there?
point, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Exactly. That's because that,
So I don't
that's
think
the
so.
thing.
I don't think so.
Well, that's the thing with timeline movies, because when you start thinking about the actual timeline of past versus future and how the speed that you get from point A to point B, if you apply too much logic to it, it's hard to find a correct path. Because
Right.
if humans went from point A to point B and realized that they need to put a wormhole here to save humanity, then the logic falls apart, because how did we get to point B in the first place?
Well, they're using the wormhole to. Yeah, exactly. That's what.
Like,
that's
how do we
what
get
just
to
said. Yeah.
how do we get technologically advanced enough to even get to that point to save us from point A? It makes no sense.
It's a little weird, but I think they were using the wormhole. I don't know if it was put there by them, but
so
I
it
think,
could be like aliens or something, or
no, it's wormholes. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that, but I think theoretically they exist. I just don't know. Actually, I'm pretty sure we might have.
I think theoretically they don't exist.
Theoretically they exist, but not. They haven't found one, or they haven't been able to create it or something.
Correct. Theoretically, they're saying it's the only way to travel time, right?
Yeah.
Through a wormhole, but they
Not
can't
time,
prove that it
just-
exists.
I'm not looking at it as a time traveling thing. It's more of like a distance traveling. How do we get so
but-
freaking far away? Well, using a wormhole, because
Well, that's the
theoretically
thing.
it explains how and it makes sense.
Dude, this is the thing I love about space, and it's a huge headache. Once you leave Earth and you take humanity out of our day-to-day life out of the equation, space and time are more or less the same thing. That's why they always call it the space time.
Yeah.
So traveling from point A to point B in space, as long as you don't want to do it in a straight line, you have to travel through a wormhole, which is more or less time travel as well. Because you're connecting 2 points in space-time together, as opposed to traveling between them, you're putting them in the same spot. So that's you're traveling.
Yeah,
Because time
kind
is a
of.
Man-made thing.
Kind of, but okay. So, gosh, I wish we had a camera for this.
We're doing hand gestures
So the way I understand wormholes are
wormholes. Gotcha.
are working,
Yeah.
and I think I was watching the Neil deGrasse Tyson show, and
Yeah.
he put it in such simple words. I was like, oh, I finally understand what they've been talking about. So it's like you've seen the pictures, like it's like a 2D plane, a grid, and then it goes down into this weird hole, right? In 3D,
Yeah.
it goes down. So as it's doing that, it's pulling things closer together.
Okay.
The deeper you go in there, those points A, B, and C are closer and closer together. Like if they're here when there is no wormhole, then it's like dropping a ball in a big
Oh, you're talking about it pulls it down.
it pulls it down, so everything gets closer this way. And the further down you go into it, the closer they are, and then you travel super fast.
That's not a wormhole. You're talking about a black hole.
No, I'm talking about wormhole.
I don't think that's a wormhole. Which, by the way, my mind might be.
And they might also be the same thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, over the next year, I think we're gonna get an actual photo of a black hole, and
They don't have one yet?
I'm so excited.
So
to see
in
what it's gonna be.
Interstellar, they were just showing what science has told them, like, hey, it probably looks like this.
Correct.
They
used the
closest.
math and everything, and it was the first time. I mean, this could be just a PR thing, but they got scientists involved, they got the equations involved, and they added the visual effects people, and they said this might be what the black hole looks like.
But again, how are they going to be able to snag a picture when light doesn't escape it?
Correct. They're going to use.
So they're going to use the light around it to show where the hole is, because it's supposed to be dark completely.
It's that also, but they're going to use also, because one of the things that we don't realize is that on Earth, like for us regular people, you take a picture by using light, right? Light is measured by a
Right.
sensor in your camera, and the same with audio. It's measured by this thing, a microphone. But for scientists, you have all sorts of waves of
Yeah.
energy available that you could record anything
All
at.
sorts.
So they're going to use, instead of light, they're just going to use a different way to take a picture of the black hole. And it was fascinating.
But they're still using light at that point.
I don't think so. I think they're going to use radioactive energy.
The picture we're going to see is going to be light.
They're going to transfer radioactive energy.
Exactly. They're going to have to like translate it to light.
That's a perfect way.
Yeah, but how can they do that? You can't completely do that. Okay.
I think they're going to use the one at the center of the Milky Way. I think that's the one that they're trying to take a picture of, and they found a place for it because they see these giant stars that are being flung around this black hole. So like, oh, it's got to be right here.
They're going to like in a big oval that's very like stretched out.
Correct.
Because it's like
it's at the very center. These stars, like imagine our sun moving that fast around this thing. So like, it's going to be here. So they're going to start focusing on that. The Vox News had a story about it, and I'll send the link to you where they explain what's going to happen, and it sounds fascinating.
Everything gets beyond liquefied.
No, they explained how that we're going to have a picture finally, and it's exciting to finally have a picture.
Dude, that's cool.
Like, and that's one of the reasons I loved Interstellar.
Yeah.
It's just like 2001 Space Odyssey, where it's a science fiction movie, but it's more on the science side because there's fiction involved. But you're like, oh, this could totally happen. And
wait. What movie? 2001 Space Odyssey, the crazy one?
Yeah. Well, you call it crazy, but it's a masterpiece of art.
Sure.
It's really long.
I love
really
art.
boring.
Don't get me wrong, but I don't know. I'd rather, if I'm gonna look or enjoy something abstract, for me it's music, or a painting. But a movie, why not?
2001 Space Odyssey is one of those things that I even agree that it's too long and it's really boring and moves at a snail's pace, which is frustrating as hell to watch.
But back in the day when it came out, it was like, wow.
But technologically, as far as how they made the movie, it's really impressive. And the science of it, because that one goes more towards fiction.
It's almost like borderline religion that they talk about. It really is. It's the unknown. It's not. Science only takes it so far. I think there's so many scenes
science.
there.
Oh, dude, that's such a great sentence. Science only takes it so far, because science takes it so far. Because I feel like it takes it far enough that we take it as we have the capability to do it, right? We as humans feel like there's a gap, so we fill it with our own shit.
Yeah, but again, the more science you discover, the more equations you come up with to describe the world around us, the more questions you're going to have later. Like, it's going to open more boxes that are completely unknown. So, like, science is great. Well, we're diving into something really deep, but it's only going to get deeper.
Yeah.
I wish people understood that. Maybe that's some of the people who don't want to deal with science, like very religious people who maybe they do understand that, but they're like, what's the point? I'd rather spend my life believing in one thing so it doesn't confuse me and I can focus on, having a family or whatever they do to do.
And that's one of the things that I honestly didn't like. I don't want to say I didn't like, because I did absolutely love Interstellar. It was like an amazing moment to watch that movie happen, but I didn't like the whole love angle of it. I didn't like the fact that he was trying to save his kids. I get that. That's how you get attached. That was his motivation, to save his kids and everything, right? But like the whole doing the bookcase thing, I didn't like. When it got to that point, I didn't like that.
Well, because that's the point where every science fiction movie who does time travel, there's always one point in a movie that's supposed to like show the moment where
it was in the past and it's happening.
And that you can't do it right. There's no logic. You can't explain it with science. Again, it's like one of these theoretical, what if time travel was possible? This is what it might look like.
And
but I think they did a good job with that bookshelf. Like, just the think about the acting of it. I really love like his face. He's so expressive.
Dude, Matthew McConaughey has become an insanely good actor. I mean, I always believed he was. Now he's just going for roles that you're just like, he did incredible in that movie. Even in that scene, like the desperation that he was feeling, the excitement that he was just feeling when it was
on the eyes, and it's like, I like that, because that's when the actor really like gets in the characters and really tries to feel something for himself, and then that translates like that into an audience.
But dude, you know what I'm thinking right now is, think about the creative process for the movie, because a lot of things that they create futuristically, the spaceships, the black holes, those are all grounded in reality. They talked about like, what would a spaceship look like?
Right.
Let's get engineers involved. Let's design it. That's more or less straightforward. It's probably expensive, but
Right.
straightforward
Yes.
for a production company to do. But now that I'm thinking about it, you know, when he goes inside the black hole
Yeah.
and there's a term for it. I forgot what it was called, but he sees the 3D cube feature that he keeps going through until he gets to the bookcase, and then he looks at each one of the holes.
Right.
It's a different point in space and time that he's seeing the history of even that one room
Yeah.
at different times. To create something that nobody knows what it could possibly look
Yeah.
like from scratch, as much as I disagree with the way it ended up looking, that must have been a headache, and it's really impressive that
Yeah.
they were able to finally do something with it,
Yeah.
to create something.
Yeah. And
That's impressive.
What is it? What happens when you go through But I think they left it open enough that, anybody could have a completely different experience going through a black hole.
That was actually my next question to you, is because you know how when he goes through it, he only sees that room, right?
Right.
Do you think that means if you and I went through it, theoretically for this movie's fiction, we would each see a different thing?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Because we would try to go back in time to fix something that's not fix or help something that's very dear to us or someone. He helps his daughter because he knows he has to give that code, because the whole premise of him doing all this is to give the code.
Yeah.
But he has no way to get it back, but he ends up in this wormhole and is able to talk to his daughter via this code when he's already standing in the room in the past. That was amazing.
I agree.
That was amazing. That was just like the moment the actor realizes, or
The character.
he realizes like, oh, this is that moment, and
Yeah.
this is
Like,
what I
gonna
need
happen.
to do.
Yeah.
She knows this code thing. I don't think it was Morse code, but he just
I
kinda,
think he did it as Morse code.
yeah, and she was able to read it, and then later on, like, saves the day. Like, it's cool. It was a cool, cute story, but the science of it. I've heard an NPR interview about an atomist, I think it was, or a nuclear physicist, or
Okay.
but the same guys who do this, but towards the space, like
Astrophysicist?
Astrophysicist.
Okay.
She was saying that if we went into a black hole, because one of the guests asked the question, she said the pressure would be so high, the gravity of it. It's like if Earth had 1 million times the gravity, we'd all be like, everything in our body would be broken onto the floor, and it would liquefy us.
That's a theory, but that's also the interesting thing, is because they say as you get closer to the black hole and the event horizon of the black hole, which also a great movie for you to watch, because of the time, how gravity of the black hole impacts the travel of time and space, it's hard to know what happens after that point, because you're getting stretched. You're
Right.
physically getting stretched in time and space. So you as a human being, if you were able to somehow stay intact while getting to the event horizon, you would go from being like a 6 foot tall human being to something like 300 feet tall as you're getting stretched and stretched and stretched and stretched.
Yeah.
From my point of view, you would look like you're just staying there at the event horizon. You're not going anywhere. But for you, you're just traveling hundreds of thousands of miles while you're getting stretched in time and space. But I'm experiencing it at a completely different angle than you.
Why wouldn't I look this like? Why would I look the same to your eyes?
Because from my point of view, you're still at the event horizon. That's the thing about space-time and black holes, and that it's just for dumb people like me, it's a brain fart as soon as I start thinking about it. At the point of event horizon, the space-time of all of existence is to the point that we don't know yet. We have theories, and one of them is the fact that the gravity is so much that it's pulling you close to the center of the black hole at such a speed, at such an energy, and at such magnitude. But you're like, imagine, like, it's not you're not stepping over a line and all of a sudden you're inside the black hole. It's such a gradual thing that for the rest of us, the light
Yeah.
that's traveling, the energy that's traveling,
the light
you're
yeah,
still
okay.
outside the event horizon.
Right.
But for you, you're traveling inside the event horizon. So it's pushing you, pulling you that way, while the information that's supposed to be coming out towards us, it's also being pulled towards the event horizon. So what we're seeing is the last thing that was before you traveled into that.
Yeah.
And you as a cellular existence is also traveling through that. So it's getting stretched into closer to the center of it, the theoretical center of whatever the black hole could be, and to the other side, but there's still energy being pushed out to the other end of it. And that's how we know black holes exist, is because of the energy that gets pushed out.
And you see some of it, but I mean that means all they need to do is figure out a way to see past the event horizon.
Correct. That's like the holy grail of black holes.
And they just need to have more devices to, read all kinds of different frequencies coming from there.
Yeah, that's also a really interesting thing is the more we learn about black holes, it doesn't make the previous things not true. It just makes them more
accurate
or more understandable. And somebody put it, actually I heard this on NPR too, somebody put it really well, that in the past we thought a black hole takes everything in, right? Like no matter what's near, light, physics, it just going in. It just sucks up because it has such dense gravity that's going on. And now they're finding different things that are left on the outer edge of the black hole, like different particles, different energy waves, different heat, all sorts of things that are out of the edge. And
that are like really circling, falling into it.
Yeah, and this scientist put it in a really well way of how science progressed in that. He's like, in the past, we imagined black hole as this incredibly massive fat person you knew that any food you put near it, he would just gobble it up. He would put anything, gobble up. So we
can't believe someone said that.
No, it's amazing because once you think about it, it's like he's like food, whatever it is you put in front of it. So we don't know what's going on there. But now we're realizing is that yes, he is gobbling everything up, but there's still crumbs of the food around him as he's eating everything. That's what we just discovered.
That's crazy. That means
exactly
it breaks things before entering.
Correct.
I don't think there's like, I don't think there's like, okay, this is the outside of the black hole and there's a line and this is the black hole. I don't think it's that way. It's not like precipice.
It's like a cylindrical shape.
The reason we see what we see now is because we don't have the instruments to measure the whatever is coming back, like all the radiation and light and all that.
Correct. But using those crumbs of food.
But that means as it's getting closer, it's already the gravity as it's getting closer is breaking shit apart.
Yeah.
And that's why you see those quote unquote crumbs.
Yeah. But we can also figure out what it's doing to those crumbs based on if we know, like, hey, let's say if we know something that's made out of iron is getting broken up like that.
Yeah.
How it's broken up tells us a lot about the power of the gravity.
Yeah.
And so that stuff is really fascinating.
Because iron can only be broken so many ways.
Yeah, you would think. Or iron that's something that we have access to on Earth. So we can do tests to see, like you imagine like breaking into pieces like that and be like, all right, how did this happen?
Yeah, but that means it would have to get really, really, really tiny pieces.
Yeah.
And apply the most amount of force that we possibly can with our technology.
Dude, we have something on Earth.
And measure that somehow.
Yeah, we have something on Earth. I think we have a few of them, and one of them is in California. It's this thing that points so many lasers into one little spot that creates more heat and energy than the sun. So Are
you serious?
Yeah.
They've made this?
It's terrifying.
Someone's made this?
Yeah.
What
to
the
do
hell?
science experiments. It's terrifying.
What the hell?
Exactly. It's obviously it's contained and everything, but I'm just like, why do we have this? Like this could go bad.
That means it can like point at anything and break what's inside.
But the whole idea is that they point at each other, so you can't really point at another way.
So it'd be like a weapon. If someone like twisted could someone's probably working on making a weapon out of this. Heads up. Mm-hmm. They would have to make something that encloses something they want to destroy.
Yes. And then just point those lasers. Yeah. But that's also one of the things that Stephen Hawking and a whole group of billionaires is trying to do about traveling to a distant planet. Is they're going to use lasers.
Laser technology to create enough energy to boost a ship. That's
they're going to get a closer to light speed than we've ever been before. Well, they're going to put a small little computer chip that has camera, GPS, all those things.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And they're going to propel it using a laser.
Yeah. And probably with that same pointing the lasers in a way that it creates energy, but the energy is also being burnt so that...
Correct. So over the next few years, they have to figure out a way how, that laser won't burn this thing that they're propelling. Yeah. How they're going to make it big enough. Obviously, build the lasers because there needs to be something over a square kilometer mile that's pointing a laser straight up.
Wow.
Dude, I'm telling you, science, like actual science, is becoming as fascinating as science fiction.
Well, science and technology. Well, science is one thing in technology, but science technology is what we're talking about here. But have you heard about the sun sails?
I don't know.
Aren't they going to use sun sails as well for that same project?
What's sun sails?
Like a boat sail.
Yeah.
Dude, it's a light sail. I don't know how they call it. It's not the
You're
term.
talking about the thin film that is going to be put in front of it.
It's for wind. It's same as wind, but it's light that pushes them.
Yes, it's a laser.
I think
that's
they're
gonna
using
push
that. Oh, the laser's going to push it.
Well, you're right, though.
I thought they were going to use the sunlight to do that.
No, they're going to use the sunlight to energize
So
it,
that's part of that's one of the ways they're going to do that is using the laser's heat or light to push the veils.
Correct, but it needs to be. But that's the interesting part is that it needs to be thin enough.
Yeah.
To be light and to be able to go through, but it needs to be strong enough to withstand not only the heat that's being generated, but the dust impact, the sun heat waves, whatever they're called.
Yeah.
It needs to survive all those things. And that's another thing that ties into what we were talking about last episode. We have all these important things that are going on in science and the survival of humanity, but we're sitting here wondering, who pays the most taxes and stuff.
All right, guys, we're going to take a 2-minute break. All right, bye.
Bye. I'm supposed to start talking, so here's me talking. We're back from break. Hello,
Hey, guys.
everybody. We're on break. We were talking about the technology or the sound waves of me talking and stuff. It was pretty interesting.
Yeah, I'm trying to understand the gain level and...
We're trying to sound better.
Yeah, exactly. Trying to up our game with the sound. And I know I should know a lot more, but I really just don't... Yeah.
It's funny that you spend all this time learning audio. And you claim to not know, but I know you know.
I know some things, but it's just... I don't know. I just don't want to... I spend enough time on it. I want to focus on music and creating stuff instead of the technology part of it.
You have a very well understanding of... You have a somewhat of a well understanding of the technology of recording audio and what happens in the whole process from the point that it leaves your mouth all the way up until it's in the computer.
Yeah.
Utilize that to create stuff. This is one of them.
Yeah. No, it helps me recording. I mean, yeah. I already know about looking at the sound waves that you preamp was a little high.
All right.
Or that you were too close to the mic.
I'm trying to find a good distance between. I think this is good right here.
Yeah, let's try that. Just shoot for it.
I will shoot for the sun.
Shoot for
there was an article on The Verge, which whenever we do a technology episode, we should talk about it. Google has these moonshot projects. They spend a lot of money on they said do crazy research on things that might happen. Right.
All right.
So apparently that moonshot project is actually profitable for Google.
What's moonshot?
Moonshot is the whole idea. Shoot for the moon. That's where it came from.
What are they trying to do?
They're trying to do crazy ideas. When they say they come up with an idea, don't limit yourself. Shoot for the moon, right? That's what they have a whole division that does that. And the whole idea is that the self-driving car came out of that. The AI came out of that. All these things, which by the way, Google's CEO just said their super advanced AI is the way of the future. And I believe it because it just beat somebody in the game of Go.
Yeah, but the future, 200 years from now, not now.
No, dude, 5 years from now at most.
Well, it depends what it is that the applications are going to be. I'm thinking no one is driving anymore. It's all automated. Life itself is completely automated for people like us, for the middle class.
For the middle class?
Yeah.
Dude, that will never happen. Because talk about the socioeconomical impacts of it. The middle class is going to become, because it's going to be the super rich.
Yeah. That's
going to take advantage of everybody else. The middle class is going to go away. We're all going to be paying the price of, the happiness of, the upper class.
Sweet.
So let's just have fun with this life that we have and don't have kids.
They're gonna build a city in the clouds, inaccessible to anybody but them. And dude, there should be a movie about this.
There's many movies about this. But talk about a city in the cloud. I found this new podcast that's called Invisible City, I feel like. It's this Canadian lady who has her background in city planning or something. And they just talk about cities. I've only listened to one episode and it's about density. And when you talk about it, you and I were listening to our old podcast on the way here. When you hear city planners and government officials talk about how important density is, you get more pissed off about what's going on in Phoenix because it's going the exact opposite way. We're like,
Stretching
fuck density.
out.
Let's stretch out as much as possible. Like it's bad for the environment. It's bad for us as humans. It's bad for culture.
Yeah.
But we're like, you know what? We're gonna spread out. We're gonna go as crazy as. It's
You know how
frustrating.
much I love this place.
I know. Speaking of loving this place, you know how on the way here we drove past Tempe Town Lake? You know they emptied that, right?
And they found guns and
Yeah,
knives.
they found guns. I mean,
One of them was stolen.
yeah, we're not like, this isn't like Chicago or anything. It's even the worst neighborhoods are pretty fine here,
Yeah.
but it's, you know,
All I
classy Arizona.
As soon as I heard that, dude, I'm like, oh my gosh, these guys are. If these people like hear these news, they're gonna start panicking really quickly.
Like honestly, like in
People who threw
every
them.
crime movie we've seen, it's the shady act of let's throw the gun away. Like what the hell is going on here? And then people are throwing guns in Tempe Town Lake.
Wow, Tempe. Wow.
It's a man-made lake. It's okay. There's rumors that there's like crocodiles and piranhas. None of it true at all.
Yeah. Well, what? I mean, you know what? It's this the climate is similar to like the savannah and stuff.
The idea is that somebody threw like a baby in there and they've grown up, but they drained it. There wasn't any.
Yeah, it's
Like
like this
we would
monster
hear.
kind of thing.
Oh, we're ridiculous.
So yeah, gosh, Interstellar, man. I kind of want to watch that movie again.
Me too. I didn't watch it last night,
Yeah, me either.
but I will rewatch it because it's a really good movie and gorgeous music.
Yeah, that whole movie is great. I love all the actors.
Like Christopher Nolan, he's really like, I don't know how to say, like he's really good at making movies. Obviously, the way he shoots movies, it's stunning, and obviously the way he works with actors is awesome. Everybody loves the fact that his movie's always grounded, so they use a lot of practical effects and stuff. But I'm always really impressed with the way he ties music into his movies. Like he's able to, with his composers, with the people that play it, play the right note at the right times that gives me goosebumps. And it's really awesome.
I mean, they've been doing that for years.
But
Like,
not
I mean,
everybody can do it as well as he does.
Yeah, it's really tasty how he does it.
Like Prestige is still my all-time favorite movie that he's made. And I will never forget, there's a shot that it's a voiceover shot talking about history. So it backflashes to that point in history that they're talking about. And it's a train, like it's like a helicopter shot of a train, and they play a really deep note. And every time that note plays, I'm just like, ooh, it's so awesome. Which one's your favorite Christopher Nolan movie?
That's the guy who made Batman's, right?
So he made Insomnia, he made Memento, Insomnia, the 3 Batman movies, Inception, Prestige, and this.
I haven't watched Prestige, but I've watched Inception.
You've watched Prestige. You and I watched Prestige together
When?
12 years ago. 10
Okay,
years
so it
ago.
is not your list was not chronological whatsoever.
Okay, chronological. It was following Memento, Insomnia, Batman Begins, Prestige, Dark Knight, Inception, Dark Knight Rises, and what do you call it? This one that we just talked about, Interstellar.
Inception, man.
Inception was awesome. Inception was just bad.
So he definitely uses when he likes actors and likes working with some actors, he uses them again.
yeah,
Because
Just,
like
Anne
Inception and Hathaway, they're all in Batman. Like the new Robin is at the end of that, you know?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like I feel like it's more or less both ways. Like if you work with Christopher Nolan, you're like, oh, I want to work with him again. Like I want to be.
Yeah,
part
but
of
he's
his
probably
team.
like, oh yeah, I like this actor. It's gonna work. I got a role for you, my friend.
Yeah. Or what's his name? God, who's the old guy? Michael Caine. He's like, I feel like he's almost every single one of his movies now.
I don't know who that is.
The old guy. Alfred from his Batman movies and the guy from Interstellar, the science,
I was trying to think who
Hathaway's
from
dad.
Batman was in Interstellar. Anne Hathaway. Is she?
Anne Hathaway
yeah,
and
she
Michael
totally
Caine.
is. Oh, I want to watch that moment when he comes back into the ship. Where after he spent like 20 years
yeah,
on
when he's
that
watching
planet.
those videos and he's crying.
Yeah,
God.
right after the hour-long mission that took way too long and 20 years gone by. That's awesome.
Dude, I have people that I know for a fact don't like the same movies I do. They don't like the same taste. Like science fiction, it's not for them, right? Like they're just like, I care about more drama or romantic comedies. But every single person I've shown
that's
that movie
a big
to,
drama, dude. That movie's a
they
drama.
love Interstellar. Like when he's crying, everybody feels the same way. Like everybody's like all sad. Like
Have you seen The Martian? Martian?
yeah. Did you hear about the whole thing about The Martian and Jude Apatow and being a comedy, not being a comedy?
No.
Because for the Golden Globes, they submitted The
yeah.
Martian as a comedy.
What?
Yeah, and it won. So everybody's like, that's not a comedy.
That
That's
is
not fair.
not a comedy.
Yeah.
That is not. Well, how did it win comedy?
Because it had some jokes in it, apparently. Because it had humor. It had humor for sure, but it's not a comedy.
First, it didn't have that much humor. And
I
it was.
agree.
It's not a comedy.
I
It's an
completely
epic,
agree.
kind of epic. Yeah.
It's a good movie. It's a
It's a
fantastic
great
movie.
movie.
Yeah.
But comedy? Come on.
Dude, Ridley Scott is probably like the master of science fiction. He made The Martian.
What if him and J.J. Abrams and Nolan get together and make a movie?
They won't.
Why not? They should.
Who's going to pay for that movie? That's really expensive.
They should make it together.
Like, Ridley Scott made The Alien and he made Prometheus. Yeah.
Oh,
Which-
dude, I'd forgotten about. I love Prometheus.
You know the sequel's coming out?
No.
Yeah. It was called Prometheus 2, and then they changed it to Alien.
Okay,
something.
so it's picking up from the alien-looking creature at the end.
I think so.
So the good guys are on their way off somewhere else, though.
I don't know how much in time they're gonna.
Okay, it might
Jump?
be completely different people.
I don't think it's gonna be different people because they were gonna make it Prometheus 2, and then
Yeah,
they
but at the end of this one, the main person, I guess
Yeah,
she's
the
all
girl.
alone now. She leaves.
with the robot. With the robot was my favorite character in the whole movie.
What robot?
The guy who's played by Michael Fassbender or something like that. Fassbender.
I don't know who that is.
You know that's the reason I wanted you and I to watch Macbeth.
Yeah.
Which, as much as like Shakespeare gave me massive headaches in high school, because talk about not speaking English and then learning like Shakespeare in English.
Yeah.
That movie is made by the guy who is going to. He's making Assassin's Creed movie.
Uh-huh. Oh,
so
wow.
talk about another.
Again, another video game that I would probably never play.
It's the video game itself. Aside from Assassin's Creed 1, the rest of them suck.
Yeah.
But it looks visually stunning. And I don't know if you and I should watch it based on that reason.
Maybe.
It like the opening scene. I just played the opening. It's all slow motion, like war battle. I was like, oh, that looks awesome.
I want to watch movies that are perfect on all sides. I know it's a far-fetched idea,
That's it.
but
Not
well,
gonna
I mean, that movie, that the color, movie,
Upstream Color?
it looked beautiful. It didn't do it. There nothing else for me.
How can I convince you? Can I convince you this weekend if you have an hour and a half or something?
To watch what?
Watch Primer. I will
Sure.
pay you to watch Primer.
$35.
Done.
What?
It's
Yes.
It's something that needs to happen because I was watching it this weekend and
40
not this weekend, the last week.
$45.
Dude, you know, I'm blown away by how good this guy is in his acting, directing, and all those things for his first movie. And the time travel aspect of it is enough for you to want to talk about it. You're like, oh,
Let's do that.
let's do Primer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, down.
Let's do Primer for next episode.
All right.
Yes. Yes. You're going to hate it. I'm looking forward to it.
Is it? No, then I don't want to watch it.
No, you should watch it. It's definitely.
I know that you like really good movies. Mm-hmm. I'm not there as far as like some of the artsy
Like here's the thing,
stuff.
He doesn't have
Too much.
Don't expect. How should I say it? Like just you're a smart guy. Imagine $5,000, right? Imagine $5,000
$5,000.
or $7,500, whatever it is. That's how much he spent on the movie. So imagine like how much like
On
like
Primer?
yeah,
It's
imagine.
just gonna be like Pi or something.
Oh, remember Pi?
Yeah.
Pi was Christopher Nolan. No, Pi was Aaron Aronofsky.
Right.
But no. Like, don't expect like huge special effects or any of that. It doesn't exist at all in this movie.
Right.
So just don't expect
Let me
something
guess,
high
black and
production.
white?
No,
Oh.
but just watch
very
it.
little dialogue.
No, the movie doesn't have any action or anything, so it's all dialogue.
Well, the other movie Upstream Color did not have much dialogue either, but there's no action to compensate for that.
Somebody gets killed in that movie.
In Primer?
In Upstream Color.
Yeah, someone.
I still think it was there's another Signal you should watch as well. I keep thinking of movies that you should watch. Like The Signal is great. Signal is great science fiction. It's fantastic science
That's
fiction.
an older movie, isn't it?
It is probably older. It's such good science fiction.
So, did we talk about like the New York caucuses last episode? That Bernie got smashed?
He didn't get smashed.
Why
He lost. He lost by double
Big
digits.
time.
But here's the thing: Bernie's done. I feel like unless some miracle happens, which miracles don't happen, he's done.
What a pessimistic view to look at the world.
I have a realistic point of view. He won 109 delegates. She won 139 or something like that.
All right.
So he got some delegates, not enough that he needed
but
to.
now she's like so freaking close to the 1,200 it is.
Yeah,
for them.
and if you want to take into effect super delegates, I'm pretty sure she has already gone to that point. But nobody wants to talk
super
about it now.
delegates. Do they wear like special costumes?
No, that was a horrible joke.
Well, it's better than your vampire one.
That wasn't a joke. That was a serious discussion. I need to know.
Vampires do not exist.
I know, but I need to know. There's a flaw in the fiction of it. And I feel like I'm the one that just found out the flaw in the fiction.
Maybe Nolan should make a movie about vampires to explain it all.
Oh God, his next movie is like some old war movie, I think. Yeah.
Captain America and Civil War soon.
When does that come out? May? That's got to be a May movie. May's a big month. I love the fact that my birthday is in May.
Then hopefully maybe Suicide Squad.
Let's see. Movies.
I wonder why they didn't call it Suicide Fam.
Oh God.
What is that about? Where did that come out of?
Suicide Squad?
No, Fam.
I don't know what you're talking about. I thought that was a horrible joke.
It's like a new like hashtag or something. It's like me and my fam, like friends, a group of people, like entourage almost. But
They're called fam?
I don't know. FAM. I don't know what that means. Like family.
I don't know what to tell you, man.
You youngsters with your freaking abbreviations.
You're not talking to me, right?
Changing the dictionary. No.
All right, let's see. May 2016 releases. This is,
There's no date yet.
No, I'm saying movies that are coming out in May 2016.
Oh.
I'll let you know. This is really exciting stuff for whoever's listening to our podcast.
Very.
Can I just tell you while this thing's loading, I love doing this shit. It is so awesome.
The podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Captain America's coming out in May. X-Men's coming out in May.
Day.
All right. How about you just calm the fuck down a little bit?
I really want to try like Japanese toilets.
Oh, dude. They are so far ahead. So far ahead.
I'm sure you can buy them here for like a few grand. But come on, I don't need music.
You don't need any of that shit because the toilets that we have here do the bare minimum, right?
I do that when I go to Japan. When I go to Japan, I will submit to you a full on. You have no choice. Every toilet is amazing there. That's the whole point of it. Is the crap that we sit on here does not exist there. They look at it and be like, I'm not taking a crap on this thing.
Exactly. You know what would be a nice website if you told me an actual release date? May 6, 2016.
That's like
holy shit.
2 weeks from now. The band has a show Cinco de Mayo and Sixo de Mayo at the Sandbar in Desert Ridge.
Okay.
Maybe and next day would be Saturday morning.
So if Sixto de Mayo. Oh God, sorry, whoever is Spanish speaking here. Can you just watch it that day? Oh no, that's gonna be really busy.
Yeah, no, I can't.
Let's do Saturday. You're right.
Saturday morning. So does it come out Saturday morning or
no? May 6th has got to be a Thursday.
No, May 6th is Friday.
So that means it's out on Friday.
Nice.
So yeah, it comes out Thursday midnight. It's out Friday, and then you and I do the same thing. We watch it Saturday morning.
Yeah, and then we'll do that.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
We'll do all sorts of things.
Mm-hmm. You know what? I'm going to watch the first Avengers movie.
Oh, they're not really good. That's a sad
Well,
thing.
I mean, I remember Iron Man 1. That was pretty fun.
Yeah, it was.
But then I don't remember Avengers first movie. They're already a team at that point. I mean, the Hulk has had his own movie.
The Hulk has not had his own movie yet. The new Hulk has not.
Are you sure? I think it has.
No.
What?
Yeah, that's the sad part. That's the only part I don't like about this whole Marvel universe. They found a perfect Hulk, which was Edward Norton. He had his own movie. It was awesome, I feel like. And then there was a whole contractual disagreements. Edward Norton was apparently an asshole, so they hired this new guy. This new guy's great. He's awesome, but he hasn't had his own movie yet.
I thought he had.
I don't even know if he will.
Captain America had his own movies.
He's had 2 movies so far.
Like Winter War and then the first one, whatever. And now, I guess, Thor had its own
Thor's
movie
had
too.
2 movies so far, and a third one's coming out.
Jesus.
I don't understand. Like, how come these companies don't realize that there's gonna be a huge amount of fatigue soon? This is way too many superhero movies.
Yeah. People, if it's in demand, it's in demand. It's in demand. Like, I mean,
No way.
they're gonna keep doing it until they're done.
Yeah, but they're gonna keep doing it until they're like all the things that they've planned for 2020, 2018, like they're gonna just have to cancel that shit
Yeah.
because it's gonna be less and less viewers. I haven't watched Daredevil yet. I know we've talked for too long.
Yeah. It's time to end this.
All right.
Daredevil,
That's such an
the
awkward
show
way to end it.
on Netflix.
Yeah.
We're just sad that we have to press the stop button soon.
I know. It's all right.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for listening, everybody.
Yeah. Plug all that shit.
I know. Thanks. You're a huge help in all the things about this podcast. Thanks so much for listening, everybody. Follow us on Instagram and on Twitter at Steadiocast. Please rate and subscribe to us on iTunes. We are actually now out on Google Play. Finally, Google Play's podcast thing is out.
Sweet.
The UI sucks, but we're on there. So if you want to subscribe to us on there, please do. We're on SoundCloud at Steadiocast as well. Our website is stadio.com/podcasts.
This is our 9th episode, and we're gonna keep going for a whole year and then some. Because
why do a year?
We're keeping everyone posted on how we're progressing. So yeah, any input from you guys would be welcome.
And we might actually start. I'm not sure yet, but we might start talking about the things that we're writing for our own personal projects on the podcast. I have to just decide if we want to do it.
Yeah, perhaps.
Yeah.
I think I thought about this. Maybe it would be a good idea to hold ourselves accountable for making them happen.
So that's how you mentioned by doing it on, like mentioning it on the podcast is one way to make sure it happens.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
But again, I feel like the more you talk about a project, the less of your mind goes to it.
I don't think so.
And I think then it doesn't happen.
I think the key part is making it happen, but let's not stretch this too long.
Like a black hole.
Supermassive black hole. Do you remember that song?
Yeah.
God.
Love news.
All right. Thanks, everybody. I'm Nima.
I'm Remy.
Bye.